Yeah, I am. You all just got a notification asking if I could record you.
Yes. Okay. So yeah, my name's Vanessa. I've been with Scentsy for 8 years. I kind of just worked it for my own discount for a long time. And then it was just kind of on the side while I did full-time school and worked a full-time job and had 2 other jobs and worked Scentsy. Then I hated my job. And I decided, okay, it's time to do something more with this. I've since turned this into a full-time career, and I love it. So Scentsy is something that you can just pick up at any point and decide you want something else out of this and make it happen. Harvest Collection is huge. I live in Cleveland, Ohio, and here we get the full-blown fall. So we grow pumpkins, we have apple orchards, all of our trees turn colors. It's absolutely stunning. And as soon as everyone sends their kids back to school, I swear people come out of the woodworks looking for pumpkin everything. So as soon as that happens and everyone's done with their little crotch goblins, they're like, yes, fall, thank God. So Harvest Collection is always huge for me. It always has been huge for me. Holiday Collection does not always hit because people are not ready for Christmas on October 1st, like people are ready for fall on September 1st. But yeah.
Okay. Is Akeelia on? Does anybody know? Has she seen her on? Or are you on?
I do not see
Okay.
her.
I didn't, you know how sometimes it's like their kids' names.
Mhm.
They're about the girl on my team. Very funny name. Okay, awesome. And I said earlier, I'm Nicole Atnan. So I joined in 2018. No, what year did I join? 2019, I think. I honestly have absolutely no idea.
Wait, didn't you just hit your 5 years?
2019.
19, 20, 21, 22.
5 year.
I joined in 2019. Thank you all for keeping me straight. So this is, yeah, so I'm with Amy. So this is my 4th Harvest Collection already. And yes, joined during the very first Nightmare Before Christmas chaos. And we literally broke the internet because we didn't have a queue system in place. So it has changed quite a bit, but I am super excited to talk about the collection and how we can maximize this. I'm sure you've heard from a lot of different people in this business that like a lot of magic happens in the fall, and a lot of that can come from the Harvest Collection just because it's such a wide variety of products, and there's a lot of Halloween and fall fans out there. I feel like that association with fragrance, and people like September 1st hits and they're like, bring on the pumpkin spice. So even if it's hot where you are right now, or it's, you know, it's not full-blown fall, there's a lot of ways around it. So that's what we're going to dive into tonight. I've got a couple of questions. I called it my arsenal of questions over here. And again, if you're just joining, it's just going to be a laid back chat. If you guys have questions, post them in the chat, please, and I will be monitoring them. And just to get started, to dive right into it. So the Harvest Collection, just as a recap, is coming out in just a few days. Like, and when you guys jump on, if you guys can mute yourself, please, just so there's no background noise. So what is it? Not tomorrow night. No, it's 2 nights from now. 2 nights from now. So Wednesday night, overnight / Thursday morning. So the collection actually releases at 3 Eastern Standard Time. So that's 2 Central Standard Time, 1 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, and then midnight Pacific Standard Time, depending on where you guys are, which means it is a middle of the night release. And we are going to chat about the big question to wake up or to not wake up. And we're going to dive into that in a little bit after this. But by now you should be advertising the Harvest Collection if you haven't yet. This, you know, there's also a lot of thoughts on that. And so let me just pause real fast. The Harvest Collection coming obviously is really big for a lot of people. So I will dive right in, and I will start with Caitlin, just because I know you are, like you mentioned, big high PRV. What do you think? What are your thoughts on if people have not yet gone active for the month of August / prepping for the Harvest Collection, and your whole thoughts and opinions on that? Not to put you right on the spot.
I've been extremely busy the last couple weeks, and so I have not actually really started prepping for Harvest until today. So if you're in that same boat, it is not too late. And I think that you kind of go in like level of importance. And so for me, like where I started with was reaching out to all of the people who have ordered Harry Potter previously. So I'm reaching out to them, let them know that new Harry Potter is coming. And then I also so anytime there's ever like a really big release like that, like Harry Potter, for instance, obviously Harry Potter sold out. Then over the course of the months, I would meet new customers or my existing customers that just weren't on the ball with that. They reach out and they're like, oh, I really wanted Harry Potter. And so, I am not one, like, I don't like go searching for it because obviously I want to be the one placing the order. I want the PRV. So I start like an ongoing list for any of those big LTO items. So I already had like 4 or 5 people on my list that I'd promised, I have a feeling that Harry Potter is not done forever. I have a feeling it will be back. Sure enough, it's back with more. So I reached out to those people too. So that's where I started. And then, like I said, I kind of go in level of importance. So my next people that I'm contacting are going to be my ScentFix people, which is like my personal, like monthly version of the Whiff Box. So I reached out to all of them. I'm offering like a special ScentFix for September with the new Fairy Tale Pumpkin. Because for me personally, I can already tell you that's going to be my biggest seller. I literally posted about it, shared it on my team page about 30 minutes ago. I think I'm up to 9 orders for it right now.
That's my bet. That's going to be my bet that's going to be the first thing to sell out.
Yeah. Same.
Yeah.
And then after that, so like tomorrow, my plan is like, I'm going to blast out, like a Jotform link to sign up. So like, I'll probably do both. Cause I kind of have a mix of customers that I reach through texting and I have a mix of customers who I reach through Facebook. So so I'll send out a mass text, like with a Jotform where they can like reserve their things on there. And then through Facebook, what I do is like I kind of share a post and then I do it like purge style in the comments. If anyone knows like what I'm talking about whenever I say purge style, like I'm going to post like one picture and then I'll post all of the options in the comments, basically.
In the comment, instead of in the body of the post. Okay.
Yes, exactly. So like I kind of make like each thing like a comment so that people scrolling Facebook, it's something easy where they can opt in. Just because like, even though I reach a lot of my customers in multiple ways, sometimes I just catch them at different times. And you can't always assume that they're going to see the Facebook post, just like you can't always assume that the second you send a text to them or whatever the case may be, that their kid wasn't watching YouTube and swipe it away, or that they weren't in the middle of a meltdown, or, all of the things that happen whenever you're busy with life or kids or another job. If you don't work a traditional like 9 to 5, so I kind of try to make sure that I'm hitting different people. And then of course, like I have my VIP group where I have like a lot of my customers and I've really trained customers to go there, but I'm constantly finding, I've been doing Scentsy 12 years and I still have people to this day, like people I went to high school with that will message me out of the blue wanting to order something, asking me questions. And I'm like, where have you been the last decade of my life?
Watching quietly.
They're watching, always watching. One of the girls on my team that's on this call right now, she had someone randomly join her team just a couple days ago that's never even bought anything from her. And she was like, what, where, like, you just came out of the woodworks, And I was like, people are always watching. Yeah. But yes, so I mean, I think it's so important, even if you have not like been actively working on the Harvest Collection and taking orders, it's fine. You still have time. You have 48 hours. And sometimes that's even better to catch people on a spur of the moment, because then it's like less time for them to change their mind. You can go ahead and collect the payment. And that it's more like a
impulse.
What is the word?
Impulse.
Thank you. And they, they have less time to think about it, less time to pester you on when it's going to come in. So, I all that to say, you still have time.
Yeah. And something you mentioned too. So that whole style of where when you post something and then you comment the details in the post, if you wait a little bit too and come back, like set a reminder on your phone or somehow like tell yourself to remember. So let's say you post the main Harry Potter picture at 9 a.m. and you have an alarm go off at 10 o'clock and then another one go off at 11:30 and another one go off at noon. And every time you come back and you comment on that post, another thing in that collection, you are bumping the post in the algorithm so that it shows back up into people's news feeds. Raise your hand if you see stuff in your news feed and you're like, that person posted it 4 days ago. Why the heck am I seeing this now? It's because someone has commented on that post. So anytime that you do that, if you posted something in the morning and you didn't, and you can look at your insights and you see that a lot of people haven't seen it, go back and just comment on it and it'll help bump it up. So I just wanted to add that on there.
And something else that I do that is like literally like a virtual sticky note for me is like I might post something about Harry Potter on Facebook, but you know, like I mentioned, I may have also texted it out. I may have messaged it directly to someone who I know is a Harry Potter fan, and then they may be getting back to me like in private messaging, but I'll go to my post and be like, note for myself, add Nicole, so that I have it, first of all, you know, in multiple places, like on who all I need to add in. And for that very reason, that it kind of like bumps people. Right, you know, I kind of use it as like a virtual sticky note, especially because like if I'm not at my desk by a receipt and they message me or they text me, I'm going to lose it. I'm going to lose a screenshot. I think I'm going to take a screenshot and then go back and remember, and I won't. So I need to like write it down somewhere. So like I said, I'll go back to that post, and that helps me a ton.
Question for whoever else wants to jump in. So Caitlin mentioned her Jot form. I know Vanessa uses a Jot form. Does any of the other ladies who are on here use a pen and paper system, or do you guys all use like for pre-orders? Does anybody not use like Google Forms, Jot forms, etc.?
I do not. I actually have my straight up order forms here. Personally, I did the Google Docs, and I did the Google form, and I would use it. And it was before I really realized that you could actually like make a copy of someone's. And I felt like so much time went into them, and I didn't get a whole lot of extra, like do you want to add this? Do you want to some of those things? So I just felt that it was easier for me when somebody shoots me a message, if I'm not near my order forms, then I'll make a note and go back to that text message to make sure I have everything, and I write it all out on my order form.
So you use physical order forms? That's your system?
Yeah, I have some that I photocopied too. Yeah, but yep, I write them all out on the order forms. And then for when it's time to actually pre-order, I will have them, if I have everybody set up in one party or however they're in the system, I have those forms in order, so that I'm going, okay, Carly has this, this, and this, flip that over, I go to the next one. So it's kind of in an ordered system like that.
And I actually use paper order forms as well, Nicole. So like I send out a Jot form sometimes just for ease of people like claiming stuff.
Okay.
But I actually transfer it all to an order form, just because I have like whenever I have people place orders, I have like one of those clipboards like that closes. I'm not in my office right now. But I have like one of those clipboards like you open up and you can latch it. And so every single time I submit an order, it just goes in there. And then I pull out those order forms as the orders come in to sort them. Because most of my people, I should mention too, for those who don't know me very well, most of mine are local. Okay. So that's just kind of my system too. But like I said, the Jot form is almost just like an order sheet, and then I transfer it to the order form because I need to be able to physically write notes, write down card information, write down payment notes, write down shipping addresses, like whatever the case may be. Like I'm good with pen and paper too.
Okay. Interesting. Yeah. I know. Yeah, Vanessa, chime in, because I think you and I are like almost completely digital, right?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah.
So the way my brain functions is actually pen and paper. I have had to teach myself to get away from that personally. And again, it works differently for everybody. I do not think it's feasible once you have a large enough customer base to maintain that paper pencil method all the time. I can't stay organized that way. Once my customer base grew quite a bit, I was not able to maintain that. So I taught myself Google Forms. Well, first I used Google Forms. Then I discovered Jot form. I personally think Jot form is more efficient. I think it's quicker. I think it's easier to create. And it's a lot, I think, to me, it's a way that I could personalize it more, because I do care that things are pretty. I do care that things are aesthetically pleasing. And I know that when people see certain things, they're going to want it. So I've created a JotForm template. I have shared it in the chat, so anyone is welcome to use it. You can make all of the edits you want. It will not affect the template. It will not affect my copy. So just go at it. Really, all you have to change is the address and payment form. So super simple. But for me with JotForms, what happened when I moved from paper pencil to JotForm is I started to do a lot more upselling. So my restaurant experience background has taught me it has taught me upselling. So for me, upselling is a simple, hey, you ordered 4 bars. If you add on 1 more, you get an extra bar. Or, hey, would you like to add any light bulbs onto that order? Replacement light bulbs, colored light bulbs. Hey, would you like to add on this, that, or the other thing? And it might not seem like a big deal, but as soon as you start doing that, every single person, I'd say I've collected 10 pre-orders already. 8 out of that 10 have added on one of my upsells, whether that's an extra light bulb, an extra sets of light bulbs, more wax bars, whatever it is. So I just think when you give someone just the Harvest Collection flyer, it doesn't mention you can add on a colored bulb and this is what it looks like, or you can add on this for that price. So I just think it allows you to do upselling without you having to sit there and have a conversation with every single person and say, hey, do you want to add on light bulbs? Hey, do you want to add on this? Hey, do you want to add on that? I don't have to have that conversation. It is just a simple, they're scrolling, they're saying, yes, I want this. Yes, I want that. No, I don't want this. No, I don't want that. But they're still being exposed to this. Also at the bottom of my JotForm. Can I share my screen, by the way? Do you know?
Oh God, Michael Borg asked me
Should
that
be
day
able
on that
to.
call, and y'all remember I was like,
You freaked out. Yeah.
yes.
You should be
Sure.
able
At
to
the
assign
bottom,
it
just
to
use
just
theirs.
me if you don't mind.
Okay, hang on. It's a spotlight for everybody. Are you showing the
I was gonna show my
party
job, just
or
a
'cause
part
I
of my
can,
job.
I can also show that too if you want me to, if I can't figure this out, because I
Yeah.
don't
Oh, that's
see-
fine. Yeah, you could go ahead and pull it up if that's easier.
Okay, hold please, guys.
Yeah, so I'll keep talking.
Yes, chat, and I'll pull it up and screen
Yeah,
share.
go ahead. So with this, it just saves a lot of time. So yes, it does take my customers a few minutes to fill out their form, which they're not always going to want to do. But it's going to give me everything they need. So if you go ahead, scroll down a little farther and stop. Oh, too far. Go up a little bit. Thank you. Okay, so right here, stop. It says, by submitting this form, you are placing a pre-order with me. I will do my best to ensure you get your products ordered before a sellout. However, it is not guaranteed. Please understand that sellouts do happen. There is a chance you may miss out on a pre-ordered item. Now, here's the thing, guys. There will be items, like has already been mentioned, that will sell out. And there is a chance that you might miss out on some products, and that's okay. The only way to combat this is to over communicate before you collect the order, because it's a lot harder for you to turn around and say, hey, I'm going to order this for you. And then to say, oh, I'm so sorry, it's sold out. Then you're going to have a really upset customer. However, if you over communicate beforehand and you say something like this, you're covering your ass. And also people are going to be much more understanding when you say, hey, I'm so sorry, I tried my best to get everything ordered, but X product sold out. They're going to say, okay, that's all right. They're going to be much more understanding. And you have here written that they understand that they're going to continue to purchase the other items without the sold out product. So again, this is going to save you some time if a product sells out, because you know that you can continue on with the order rather than waiting 5 hours for your customer to wake up and ask, hey, did you still want those other products? Because this sold out. So that's something that's huge. Go ahead and keep scrolling for me,
If you go down to the bottom.
Yeah, so go down to the bottom is what I really wanted to show them. So right here, I have, just scroll up just a touch for me, please. So it says, is there anything else you'd like to add on that's not listed? So again, your customer is paying for shipping either way, or they're picking up from your house. either way. So you want to ask them if there's anything else they want. Maybe it's not in part of the harvest collection, but it's something else they can add on. I'm also asking if they're interested in a discount on their order. If they say they're interested on a discount, 3 or more stars, I'm going to offer them a personal shopping link, and I'm going to ask them to tell their friends about this and try to collect a few orders. If they can get their party and their friends, or their order and their friends' orders up to $200, then I'm going to turn it into a party. If they say they're interested in making money off of their own Scentsy addiction, 3 stars or more, I'm going to talk to them about joining. So that would be something where we're going to do a personalized shopping link. Tell your friends, we're going to flip your party after I put in all these harvest collection orders. You can flip the PRV, yada, yada, yada. And then at the bottom, again, it's just, I acknowledge everything. I understand things might sell out. Again, just that over communication, but those are just a little things that I add into a jot form that I'm able to put in because it's a jot form that I would not have been able to cover with every conversation with every single customer if I was doing pen and paper.
I have the same thing on mine. And I was going to add on to that too, just to kind of like recap and then hop over to the next topic, whatever it is, guys, because everybody's brain works different. Some people physically cannot do digital. It stresses them out. The thought of creating a form like that, even if you're copying it, you're like, hell no, I'm not doing it. Or you're like, I need paper. I need to physically hold it in my hand and I need to flip through those binders and highlight it and put it off to the side. Like it's your brain, whatever works. The most important thing, and you'll hear this a gajillion times in this business, is just to make sure that you have a system. And a system, it is one of my biggest passions that I talk about. A system only works though if you're actually going to do it. My team knows this because I preach this to them all the time. I don't care how pretty it is. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care if it has little rainbows and butterflies on it. It doesn't matter. What matters is, are you going to actually do it? And are you going to stay organized? Once upon a time, I was so unorganized that, guys, I was forgetting to invoice entire parties because my PRV was pretty high. And so I would have a, couple $1,000 order come in, and then I'd be like, I forgot to invoice them. And then I'd get my credit card bill and I'd be like, there's something wrong here. I bought way too many plants this month, or which could have happened too. But then I went back and I was like, I completely forgot to invoice people. So in the hecticness, if this is your first season, or if you've done this multiple times, just remember you have to stay organized. So however that works, just make sure that you do it. Make sure that ahead of time you are letting people know. If you haven't started advertising about it yet, start doing that. If you haven't met your goal for August, still continue to talk about that too. It's like a happy medium point about with them both. You can also offer to to have a party for somebody. If you start a party right now, you can be talking about August, but also prepping for harvest collection, and it can spill over into September at the beginning of September for the harvest collection too. I did that the first year I got started, and those were some of my best customers came from the harvest collection parties that I had. I want to ask some of the ladies who haven't had a chance to chat much yet about how are you getting the word out about the harvest collection. We talked about it a little bit and the methods that we've used, but to reference Caitlin, I know she said don't post and pray, and that's a big thing, other than posting on Facebook, because we all know that that obviously is available to all of us. Other than posting on Facebook, how are you ladies letting the world know that the harvest collection is coming? Akeelia or Amy, Lexi, Sarah?
Project broadcast.
Okay.
Yep.
Of course. I'm not an expert on that. I actually just started that back in December. So originally I was doing, I started with MailChimp, and so we were talking about systems. And I think what was really important to me was I realized doing MailChimp, obviously seeing, you can see who opens it. I wasn't getting much feedback from that. And also I felt that, Scentsy already does do a lot of emails, especially recently. We've seen a really big pickup in them saying, we're emailing customers about this, we're reaching out about this. So I felt that one-on-one communication was much more important, aside from things like follow-up thanking for orders, because I always tell my team, like, we are the experts. Our people don't know to say, okay, well, October's rolling around, maybe something Harry Potter is coming out and I ordered last time. I'm going to reach out to them. Part of us providing that customer service is, oh my gosh, someone thought of me and they remembered I love Harry Potter and they reached out to me. They could have reached out to one of their thousands of friends on Facebook, but they reached out to me. So that makes me feel special. I'd like to order with them. So I feel like that one-on-one communication is super duper important. I come from a background of doing everything on social media. So I feel like, especially after the hypergrowth kind of died down, I really needed to find a groove of getting into one-on-one and reaching out that way rather than social media. Project Broadcast has kind of like, it's been a huge blessing, especially seeing, I think Nicole or maybe Johanna Luna, there was two of you, the first people that I saw do the like the texting keywords. That was like kind of a light bulb moment because I was like, this is so cool. Like, to me, that looks super legit. It looks super cool. And I did get a good amount of feedback from that. So I think creating that one-on-one communication, running those reports, and using that to kind of work your business is like super duper important. And I'm big on the not posting and praying. I tell my team that all the time. And that goes with my team too. Like, I don't just post in team pages and say, okay, anybody want training? And I actually came to Vanessa for this because I was feeling really discouraged. One time I was like, I post constantly. I do incentives constantly and like no one's like crickets. And what she did was, sorry, kind of rambling, but what she did was she said, I make a calendar and I say, I'm available these days. What dates do you want? And I think that like kind of was a light bulb moment. Again, with my light bulb moments of, with your team too, you can't just post and pray. Making sure they know, what they're doing for these launches is just as important as knowing what you're doing for yourself too. So your team communication, teaching your team how to do it and not just saying, here's what I do, teaching your team and then reaching out to your people is super duper important with big launches like this. Your team and your GWV is obviously just as important as your PRV.
I'm glad you mentioned that too, because the Harvest Collection, we focus so much on our own sales and obviously like we're chatting with our teams, but really making sure that your teams know what they're doing. We did something in the Bomb Squad the other day where I did, I'm sure you guys have seen like post a genie for every genie bundle you've sold and stuff like that. Well, we did something the other day where it was like, post if you're going to be staying up overnight with us, post if you've had any pre-orders, post, a running emoji if you're still hustling towards it, and then post a confused emoji if you don't know what's going on. And we did have a couple people post about that. And there are people that I wouldn't have thought to personally reach out to because I feel like I post enough that it should be covered, but they may not see the post. Maybe they're new, maybe it's a million different things. So that I am really glad that you mentioned that. Does anybody have anything else to add about reaching out to people ahead of time with the collection before we move on to the next thing?
Can I
I
say
think
one more?
depending.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, you go.
Depending how long you've been around, if you were here last year for Harvest launch, I feel like a lot of the people that are Harvest fans are big Harvest fans. So if they shopped from you last year, chances are they're interested again this year.
Yes.
So looking at your order history from October 1st to, mid-end of October of last year, and reaching out specifically to some of those people, some of those, like look at their orders, see what they purchased. You can run the sales report in the workstation, which is super cool now too.
Yes. Yeah,
So looking at
absolutely.
that.
Pulling. Yeah. Go ahead, Sarah.
I kind of adjusted my Happy Mail for August. Like normally I do 3 months, the last 3 months. If you order for me in the last 3 months, you get a scent circle and the little flyer and all the things. That's another training, right? But this month I kind of went forward 2 months and backwards 2 months. So if you place, I didn't send everybody that ordered from me last year a scent circle, but if you place a significant amount of money in an order from me, then I gave you a little heads up. If you're local, I also drop something in the mail because I can get you free shipping. So Yeah, one-on-one. So yeah, I kind of just changed it up that way.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. Pulling the sales reports, that's big. And obviously if you guys are new, you're not going to be able to do that, but this is a really big thing too. And I got on someone who actually is an SSD and made this comment before, because I think a lot of times we forget. I want a show of hands and I'm going to call you out. So be ready for some honesty. Tell me who here has said, I haven't sold any Harry Potter items because I don't have any Harry Potter customers. Who has ever said that? Or I haven't sold a Hocus Pocus warmer because I don't have any Hocus Pocus customers, or name any of the LTOs. I haven't sold any NFL warmers because I don't really have a big NFL fan base. We've all said it. We've all said it at some point. Okay. You need to change your mindset and your verbiage that you don't have them yet. Okay. We're going to add in the word yet, and that's a whole nother combo for another day, talking about prospecting and how to find customers, but specifically the opportunity that we have with this harvest collection and the fact that Harry Potter is coming. That is a gold mine of opportunity that you still have time to find customers. Could it sell out? Absolutely. It might not, though. We don't know how it's going to go. Maybe not everything is going to sell out. That wax may not sell out super fast. The other wax that's coming may not. Hedwig may go quick. The warmer may stay. I mean, there's a lot of different options here. Okay. Instagram. Who is on Instagram?
Meow.
In any way, shape, form, capacity at all? Who is on TikTok? Who just sits on TikTok and just scrolls all the videos, but you could be posted a video yourself? Raise your hand, Lauren.
Wow. Wait.
I see you laughing, right? Amy, I'm going to call you out. Okay.
That was not nice.
There is a lot of opportunity there for you to find customers. I just had a girl order almost the entire collection. She pre-ordered with me. I've never talked to her in my entire life. I don't even think she's a follower. She found me through a hashtag on Instagram and was like, hi, I need to pre-order this. And I was like, awesome. Are you new to Scentsy? Have you ever purchased any stuff? And she was like, just buddies. But she clearly doesn't have a loyal consultant that she works with. And she found me by a post on Instagram. So, and y'all, I struggle with my Instagram. Like if I get a couple of likes, I'm lucky. So it's not like I'm out there getting, one of those people that's getting hundreds and hundreds of likes. I have found multiple customers who have found me just by the hashtags that I have used, that have signed up with me just through my Scent Crate reel that I made, that only gets like 10, 15 likes, but people are still seeing it. And if it's enough for them to stop, they're seeing it. So forget so much about it being perfect. Forget about it being pretty. Forget about all of that. I'm going to challenge all of you guys to go out, if you are on any of those platforms, and just put yourself out there. If any of you guys are Harry Potter fans too, that is even a bigger opportunity. If you have anything in your house that is fun Harry Potter, that you can kind of dress yourself up and, do a cute little Harry Potter thing, you can make a cute video about that and just catch people's attention. Doing those types of things can have you find Harry Potter customers. And let me tell you, there's a lot of them out there. Okay. So with Nightmare Before Christmas, with anything, any licensed product at all that we get, stop saying, I don't have those customers, so I didn't sell any. Just say you don't have them yet. Okay, sorry, I got a little flushed in the face because I tweeted about the topic, so I'm sorry.
On that too, like one of my girls on this call, she actually did this, but this is something I recommend people to do all the time, because I like Hocus Pocus is a great example. Like after we left SFR, I was like, okay, never seen Hocus Pocus, clearly out on something here. So I came home.
I'm sorry,
and I was like, okay, we have to watch Hocus. So we watched Hocus Pocus in June. So now I still don't understand the hype, but that's okay. But
I think it's a nostalgia thing.
I think
it is that it's the best movie ever thing, but I'll stop.
Just like Nightmare Before Christmas is a nostalgia thing too, because I also didn't get that one, but Jack Eden, hello. So, but anyways, is like, just be like, Hocus Pocus people will know other Hocus Pocus people, and Harry Potter people will know other Harry Potter people. And so I've learned that like if your customers know you are dedicated enough and you are loyal enough and you've provided great customer service to them thus far, they know you're serious about your business. They know that you're not like some flaky only pop up whenever there's some big launch kind of consultant. They will want to refer you to their friends. And so like if you have a Harry Potter order, for instance, or a Hocus Pocus order, like I'm going to ask all of the people, like I kind of have my little Hocus Pocus list, which by the way, I would not recommend Hocus Pocus advertising for like the next week till harvest calms down.
Yes, don't talk about it yet.
But, you know, whenever I get ready to start advertising Hocus Pocus really big and we get all the official details, I'm going to ask all of my people like, hey, would you be willing to share about this on your Facebook page? I'm really trying to grow my reach of Hocus Pocus people. But you could do that same concept like with Harry Potter. Like
Yes.
Emily on this call right now, and she was like, I think she had one Hocus Pocus order or Harry Potter order. Nod your head at me, Emily, maybe. And she had that girl post. And I think she offered her a free bar with every order. Is that right, Emily? There we go. And because, you know, some people, like, even if you spin it in the, I can set you up like a shopping party link. And they're just like, no,
Yeah.
you know, I just you out. And that's fine. You can help me out by sharing, because if you're a big Harry Potter fan, you're going to know another big Harry Potter fan. You know, like I'm a big Friends fan. So like I already know which of my customers are like Friends obsessed, you know, for whenever that day hopefully comes. But all of that rambling to say, like, get your customer, you know, pose it as like, it would really help me out if you'd be willing to share this for me, and offer like what's in your budget. I'll give you a free scent circle for every order. I'll give you $5 off. And then if it ends up qualifying for a free party, you don't even have to tell them that. You can just reach out and be like, hey, I just really appreciate you sharing this. So you pick a half price warmer of your choice and 30 bars worth of wax for free. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, you know,
Right.
like they don't have to know that they necessarily qualified for a party. You know, you can still like spoil them if they do.
Yeah, I love
Totally.
that. I don't want to interrupt her. Caitlin, were you done? I didn't want to talk. Okay. One of the things I did, and the first girl I worked with, it was kind of a miscommunication, so it didn't work so great. But I just got a new partner on Instagram too. It's complete stranger. She popped up on a reel for me, so clearly reels work. And her page is everything about fall. I will send it to you all because everybody needs to follow her. It is like the most beautiful page, but she is just fall and Halloween and all the things. So I slid into her DMs and I was like, hey, was just wondering, I don't know if you've ever worked with any Scentsy consultants before, but we have incredible fall goodies that are coming next week. Our fall catalog just launched. We've got tons of amazing scents, beautiful warmers, and I dropped that fall fairy tale pumpkin to her. I said, I don't know if because she posts a lot of stuff about Hocus Pocus. So I mentioned Hocus Pocus, all that jazz. And I said, I'm not sure what your thoughts would be about working with me, but I would love to send you a warmer. And I have a warmer from last season that I can send her, or I can send her one with my rewards when it releases. I can buy it for free and send it to her. Get that ghoulish grip, like that is so stinking cute. And if you buy that with rewards, it can be as little as $10 or $0, depending on how many rewards you have. So I'm going to get together a little collection of goodies and send it to her, and she's going to advertise it on her page for me and post my website to send people back to. I'm sure if you guys have been on Instagram before, you've seen what they call brand reps, influencers, stuff like that, whole idea behind that. The network for that is endless out there. Okay, Sarah, the network is endless. Okay. On Facebook, the influencer world isn't as prominent because they say that people come more to Facebook to connect with your friends. But do you have any friends who you're like, this girl will post a picture of her toothbrush and she gets 150 of her friends commenting, and I don't know how she does that. I see everybody's head nodding. Okay, reach out to that friend and be like, I have a proposition for you. I don't know if you've ever tried Scentsy before or if you are interested in getting it for free, but I was wondering if you wanted to be an influencer for me. And let me tell you, she'll probably be like, hell yeah, I do. I love free stuff. What can I do? You send her a free warmer, ask her to post it, post your page, and you can set up a link for that person. So you can track the orders that are coming through. They're all coming through underneath of hers. And then she's also going to get the free goodies. So not only is she getting free stuff to advertise with ahead of time, but then she's also getting party rewards. So just be creative. Think outside of the box. I think a lot of us, at least, or I'm speaking for myself, I feel like there is this impending doom countdown when it comes to these massive collections. Like, I have to get everything else by this time, because if not, it's all going to sell out and there's not going to be anything left. And I feel like I'm on this constant like countdown clock, but I have to remember that every single year, there is always a huge chunk of stuff that still does go into the vault that doesn't sell out. So yes, a few things may sell out, but not everything is going to. So if you want to use Project Broadcast and you just haven't yet, or you want to send a text message to all your friends, but you've got family coming in town tomorrow and you just physically can't do it, whatever your reason is where you feel like you want to do more, you still can on September 1st and September 2nd and September 3rd. You don't have to completely stop talking about the harvest collection. The holiday collection's coming October 1st, but in my personal opinion, you don't need to start talking about that until much closer to that date, because you have that entire month to start talking about that. So in regards to things selling out, Akeelia, am I saying your name right? I know I've asked you this before. It's Akeelia, right?
Hi, Keela.
It is like, I do this every time. Okay, would you cover and chat about the sellout situation? Sorry to put you on the spot, but things selling out, are things going to sell out, the mindset and being positive if things sell out, and how to handle that appropriately with teams and customers.
So I'll use when we came out with the Jack Skellington warmer the very, very first time, because that was like crazy.
Yeah.
I set the expectation with all my customers. I do this. They know, like off rip, things can always sell out. So if I say this could sell out, it's while supplies last, they know there's a chance that if they wait to get it, it may not be there. So I set that expectation like as soon as possible. I said it with all LTOs, harvest collection, holiday collection. Like I create that like urgency. Like I had somebody today say, can I pay you on the 1st for the harvest collection because I get paid on the 1st? And I said, yeah, but I can't guarantee you that it's going to be available later that day. I was like, because harvest is one of our biggest collections. So I can't guarantee that, but yeah, you can totally pay me on the 1st. And I was like, I'll keep my eye on it and I'll let you know, like if it does sell out or if it's still around by the time that you pay me. So I just stay positive about it. Like, yeah, if it sells out, you know, it happens. It's a good thing. That means it's popular. That, I mean, we never know if it's going to come back later or not. Because with Jack, like we didn't know if it was going to come back because it sold so well. And then it took so long for some people to get their stuff that we didn't know if it was going to come back. And then it came back. And so the people that missed it were able to get it again. So they were excited. So, you know, they were sad at first, but it's just like this, it's what happens. It's like when the PS5 came out, you know how hard it was for people to get the PS5?
Yeah, you still can't, right? Can't you still like not buy it? Yeah. Yeah.
And so, you know, if people really want it, if it comes back, they'll get it.
Yeah.
And it's okay if it sells out because we have plenty of other stuff that comes out constantly now. It's like every Monday, something else is coming out. So there's ways to make that PRV. And if you get to know your customers really well, you can figure out like what things that they're into. So if we do get word of something, you can let them know like, hey, I know that we weren't able to get Jack, you know, during this time or whatever, but this is coming out and I know that you're super fangirl about this, you know, franchise or whatever. So I always keep it positive because there's been times when I didn't get what I wanted, like that tinsel.
Tinsel gay.
Yeah, that.
I was not here for
that so bad. I didn't get it.
I'll mail you mine.
Some customers of mine didn't get it. It was just like a whole thing. And I did have a customer, she was really upset about it. But she didn't actually pay me to get it on time. So I was just like, this is why I also give a deadline. So when people can give me payments, because one, I'm not going to be up until 12 o'clock in the morning on the 31st when I have to be up at 3 a.m. on the 1st, still collecting payments. So deadline, and I tell them if anything sells out, you're going to get your money back. I'm not going to keep your money. So you'll get it back. And if they do any second chances, you'll be the first to know. And then that way you'll be able to have a little time to like gather your money up, to get it.
Yeah.
When that redemption happens, sorry, I'm like tongue tied. When that redemption happens. So I just keep it positive and I just let them know, like I've trained my customers about LTOs, they're limited time offers. I like stress that like this isn't it's not in the catalog, therefore it's not guaranteed to be here for the whole year or the 6 months or the season or whatever. So if I say it's LTO and while supplies last, please take me on my word.
I love that you said you trained your customers.
Right. Yeah, I trained them.
Hear
like,
that? It's true. It's true though.
Right. You have to. It's like you're teaching them and training them at the same time. Because you know how it works. They don't know how it works. So you have to make sure that they know and that the expectations, under the bar, not over. Like, I don't want to be like, oh yeah, it's going to come back later. I have never tell them that. I'm like, I don't know. Like there's no word. I don't know if it's going to come back. Is it possible? Hell yeah, it's possible. But can I guarantee you that? No. and I won't do that. I'm not making any promises to you.
And also I've heard of a lot of people who we'll use the word pivot for all of you Friends fans. I cannot, that's all I think about every time I say that now. There are a lot of people, especially because it's in the middle of the night and their customers are asleep. I've heard of them saying, hey, this is supposed to be really popular. If this sells out, is there another warmer that you may want in its place? And getting a backup option for them. Like if the pumpkin cut it out warmer sells out, do you want Ghoulish Grip? It's the same price, which don't quote me on that. I don't know if it is, but
it is.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thank you. So, so just think about that, how you can try to find a way, to not lose that sale. And they may say, no, that's really the only one I'm wanting. And you say, okay, all right. But then at least you are communicating. I want to go into something we've kind of all touched on a little bit, and I want to just hear what you guys do on this. The big question and debate of to stay awake or to not stay awake, because it is in the middle of the night. Who stays awake and does not go to sleep and stays up all night? Same.
Sometimes it depends.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to know what time zone you're in.
We're now
if
we're 1 hour behind you. You're 3 a.m. We're 2.
We are 3 a.m. So staying up until 1 a.m. versus 3 a.m. is a big difference.
Yeah. I don't know if anybody, well, I guess some people in here could be one, but I think Caitlin, you're 2. What are you? Sarah, you're 3 a.m.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I generally go to sleep and then wake up for things like warmer of the month and stuff like that, if I think it's going to be a really huge warmer of the month. But I don't know, this one, my thing is like, I'm just not willing to chance it.
That's my nerve. And I'll sleep. I won't wake up.
I'm like,
that's exactly what I did with the first Jack Skellington.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm a first responder spouse. So it kind of depends on if I have someone here to also help make sure I'm awake. So like this year I'm lucky because I'll have 2 alarms, but if I only had one, I don't think I trust myself. But no way am I asking or telling my customer. Can you imagine like telling your customer, yeah, this launches, there's a good chance it's going to sell out and it launches at 2 a.m. So, good luck.
Yeah.
Like, no. And that's just another thing. Like if something were to sell out, like my customers know, like I will be up at 2 a.m. I will be setting my alarms. I will have everything ready to go. Like if it sells out, it is truly because it was like a crazy thing. Like I will do everything in my power to get it for you, and even like, since it's my full-time job now, but whenever I worked full-time, like it does, I know it sucks. But at the end of the day, it's one night, a few times a year, a little bit of sacrifice today to grow that forever future and the tomorrow that you want. Treat yourself with a Starbucks or a Dutch Bros on the way into work the next morning because you just made bank the night before on the order. It's not worth chancing it, and it's worth it for your customers to be happy, for them to know how dedicated you are so that they know to refer your friend. I'm going to refer my friends to the girl that gets up at 2 a.m. to place the orders. Like,
It's a service. You're offering a service at that point. And if you think about it this way, there are thousands of consultants in your area. There are thousands of consultants across our country, across our continent, everywhere. They are doing business with you because you do something that sets yourself apart from all of those people. They do business with you because they love you, because you make them feel a certain way, and because you offer services like that. I think that's huge. I go to bed at 12. I set alarm and I make Kevin stay up until 3 a.m. and he happily plays video games. And then he comes and he wakes my sweet little tushy up. And then
he also just brought you soup. Okay.
No,
so
he actually
my
just brought
husband
mashed
would be like,
potatoes.
"No."
He just got home from work and brought me mashed potatoes because he knows I love them.
That's
But
a whole
listen,
Justin
Kevin
would be
treats me
like, "No, I'm not waking you up." No.
yeah, no, well, Kevin is the world's angel, but
Hey, if this girl's boyfriend wakes her up when there's LTOs, you think you could do that for me?
yeah,
He didn't even look at me.
he said hell no. Okay, but the other thing that I have always done, and I don't always have team members take me up on it, but I always put a Zoom link out 30 minutes before the launch so that we can kind of keep each other awake and hang out. And if any of you guys are in for that, I am happy to share that link and we can all be slap happy tired and bitch about how cranky we are and kind of just be silly and have fun while we, wait for this launch to start. And then
Because you're not tired. 30 minutes before it comes out, you're the adrenaline, and you're like, oh my God, oh my God.
Adrenaline and anxiety for me.
eyes, and then that cue pops up and I'm like, I've got like the deodorant on the nightstand,
Yes.
and then by the end of it I'm like, whoa, I could go run a marathon or
Yes.
whatever the things are where you run a lot of miles. I don't normally do after a freaking 2 a.m. launch. What is that, a 10K, a 5K? What are those that people run? That's what I could do.
Anything with those, I don't do. The only running I do is Starbucks runs.
Yup. So guys,
You see me running, somebody's chasing me, so you better run fast.
We're real.
amen. So guys, why don't we shift really quick? All of us have been through at least one harvest collection or big launch like this. What are your tips for our team members as to how to find the most success with these? Actually getting in line, putting orders in that kind of stuff.
Placeholders,
Autofill.
and signing. Yeah.
Autofill.
Phil.
What's autofill?
For real.
Like when it autofills from your browser into like fields like
Your address and
the
stuff.
address and stuff. I put all my customers in autofill, so I only have to press like one key, and it'll fill in their name, their address, their phone number, email, or whatever. All my credit cards and stuff are autofilled, so I don't have to remember they're all memorized anyway, but it's easier for me to just autofill my card information, because I don't take anybody's credit card anymore, because that happened one time and her bank kept declining.
Oh yes, I've had that happen. I was like,
Messed
nope.
me up I don't close parties either. I taught my sister how to close her own party because she wanted to use rewards, so she was up with me at 3 a.m. because I had taught her 2 days before, and I was like,
Yeah.
You're doing it yourself. I'm not doing it. I've got too many orders. You have to do it yourself. And I taught her how to do it my way. So she got out before I got out to do her party or whatever. But I autofill everything. And if I don't have it autofilled, then I use my Google Keep, because I don't always use a jot form, but I use Google Keep to list all my pre-orders. If they did give me a credit card, when I used to take them, it was on their it's numbered and all their information. So all I have to do is copy and paste it. But I have a window of Google Keep and then the website. So then I just copy and paste. And paste. If I don't have it autofilled. But now everything's autofilled. So I just have to press it and go.
I do placeholders, and that
Me
for
too.
me, placeholders works for me. So I go in the day of the release and I enter in each customer individually as, yes, Lynn, I will.
In the workstation.
Yes,
She's talking
yes,
about in the
on the
workstation.
When I do that as individual orders.
Yep. So on the workstation, so in my party, so first of all, if you don't have an open party, number one, make sure you have one of that, call it the Harvest Collection and open it up. I also make it very clear to any of my customers who have an open party with me right now, if they are hoping to place an order underneath of their party, then they are not going to come first. I make it very clear that the very first order that I am placing is my local order that's going in, even though I don't know why I call it that. I think it's just a Scentsy habit, basically. But it's my personal party that I'm closing, but I don't want to call it that because that would sound really crappy. But that, you know, and that's the one I'm doing first. So if someone says, I want Fairy Tale Pumpkin, but can you place it underneath of my party? I will say, I am more than happy to, but I have my local order that I'm placing first, and I have 2 other parties who have already asked me, so you're going to be third in line, so there's a very good chance that it will sell out. So the 2 options that you have, or I guess you have a few, number one, you can wake up if you want to, or I can place it for you underneath of mine and you just won't get the rewards for it, or I will place your order once I'm done closing mine. So that's one big thing, is prioritize the orders, in my opinion, the people who are messaging them to you first. And then the other thing with placeholders. So let's say that my local order that why do we call it that? My harvest order that I have open. And let's say I've got Ashley, Brittany, Hannah, and Jocelyn, who have sent orders to me, and they're all over the country. You know, one of them's local to me, etc. Okay, so I go in and I make sure that I have all of their name and their information entered ahead of time. I don't want to get hung up on, hey, you didn't enter your direct shipping this to this girl for the first time and you don't have her phone number in there and it won't let me ship, or you don't have her email or whatever it is. So I make sure that all the customers are entered first. So once I cut off my orders, that is what I'm doing that night at like 7, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, etc. I am entering all of that stuff in. And then I go in and I do placeholders. So let me just look in here real quick. So I kind of have like a key, basically. So I would look and say, for all of my fall fairy tales, they are $50. And I know, give me another warmer that's also $50. Does anybody know a warmer off the top of their head that's $50?
Letterboard.
Spiderborg. What?
Letterboard.
I heard multiple and I was like, what is that? All right, letterboard warmer. Yes, and double check that your placeholder is in stock, by the way. I had a freak out during a crazy release one time and it sold out. And so all of my placeholders disappeared. It was super fun. She's eating mashed potatoes, whoever just asked that. So I know that all of my fall fairy tales, I have 16 pre-orders, 17 pre-orders. I got one earlier for just for fall fairy tale. I'm doing what Caitlin did. I'm doing the supersized scent crate. And so I got a lot of orders through that. Okay. I don't want to have to go in and think about that and figure out rewards and all of that stuff later. So every person that is ordering a fall fairy tale warmer, I am going in ahead of time and I am putting in letterboard warmer. So fall fairy tale equals letterboard. Okay. And then the other thing I've gotten a lot of orders for, let's just say, is the I don't know, Hedwig. Okay. Hedwig, $40. The placeholder for that, what buddy is $40? Do we have a buddy? Whatever. Let's say there's another buddy that we have right now that's $40.
Mickard.
It'd be, what is it?
Mickard and Minnie. Are they 40?
Mickard.
Cheshire Cat?
That's the whole thing.
Is
That's
Mickey? Are they 40?
Is a Cheshire Cat 40?
I clearly know my catalog.
I should, because my kid, as everybody known to man, I have to start selling organs to pay for.
Yeah, I don't even pay attention. I'm just like, fine, whatever. You're gonna drive me crazy. I should probably look. That's why my credit card looks the way it does.
Let's see.
But
Mickard, 40.
let's say that Mickey or Minnie,
Cheshire
whichever
is
one,
good.
is my placeholder for all of my Hedwig. So I'm going in and I'm adding a Mickey, so that when I get on and I get let into the queue, I go in and let's say somebody has a letterboard warmer and a Mickey Mouse buddy. I know they've got fall fairy tale and a Hedwig. I enter in fall fairy tale, I enter in Hedwig, and I delete the placeholders in their place. The main reason that I do this ahead of time is that with placeholders, it's going to show me what my total party is going to be, which means I can go ahead and enter my rewards or really find out what rewards I want so that I am not frantically going, oh, God, I have $150 in rewards. I don't know what I'm going to do. Hand soap. And I just add a bunch of hand soap. You know, that's what you do when you're panicking. You're like, we need to start pushing it. That is like what I do. So I don't want to do that. So those placeholders, obviously you just have to remember to go in and delete them afterwards so you don't end up with 15 letterboard warmers. But it works for me because then I can calmly ahead of time look and really think about what I can combine on that with my rewards, my half offs, how much tax is going to be. Did I do enough to get to free shipping, or am I going to have to charge people a couple bucks in shipping, or, you know, whatever those things are. So for me, it works. For some people that may be confusing, but
I do that, but I delete everything the night before.
okay.
I just do it so I can get prices for people.
Okay.
After that, I delete it because I've had a time where I ordered the placeholders. So I delete it all because my mind is just like, no, delete it. And then that's why I just use the Google Keep or whatever to know exactly what they're getting when it comes time. But I delete those placeholders.
Yeah, Aikila, you're like tech savvy with all your Keep and your
I know, I'm like,
things.
what the hell is she talking
I'm
about?
not that. That's Kevin. That's my Kevin. He does that stuff. That's not me. I did want to throw out another tip for you guys. If you have a computer, be at your computer, pull up your workstation on your phone and on your computer, because for whatever reason, sometimes one will load in quicker than the other when you're trying to get in that queue. And those few extra minutes can make a big difference. So for me, I just always have a computer open and ready. I have my phone open and ready. And then whichever one loads quicker is what I input all my orders in on. I have a Mac and an iPhone. So my pre-filled card information and address and stuff is on both, but if you don't have that, I'm sure there's a way to get that ready and up and running. I also do it in Nicole does.
Yeah, PC has that.
Laptop, like
Oh,
anything
perfect.
IP address, pull up your workstation. Like for those really big launches, I don't play around.
Yeah. But also make sure you're clearing your cache. So this happened to a customer of mine the other day, and she messaged me at like 11:58 and she was like, I placed my order for the clearance sale. And I was like, how? The queue hasn't even let anybody, it hasn't even started showing times yet. How did you do that? It's because she went on earlier and it cached on her website and saved it. So when she thought she just didn't have a queue, she thought she just got let right in. And so for those that don't know, does everybody know what website caching is, like what that means? It's saving. Okay, so this is something, so this can impact your timing on getting in on time. Okay, so if you ever go and you are on your computer and on your phone, we know, I mean, they don't come right out and say it, but we know that it's always going to be on the dot 56. So, 12:56, 11:56, 10:56, 9:56, depending on the time zone. So the release for the Harvest collection is going to be, what is it, 2:56 for the 3 a.m.ers, right? It'll be 2:56 a.m. It'll be 1:56 a.m. for Central Standard Time. It'll be 12:56 a.m. for Mountain Standard Time and 11:56 for Pacific. My brain just almost stopped.
You did a good job.
Thank you. I was like, I mean, it was like a machine that was stopping in there. So when you know that, if you log on at the 56 and it is letting you get on, that means that your screen is cached. So what you need to do, let me just show you guys real fast. Now I have a Mac, so this may not work for all of you guys. But when you are on, so I use Chrome. So if you come up here to history and you go show full history, you guys are going to see how many times I go to look where I go. You can come over to clear browsing data right here. And right here where it says cached images and files, cookies, and other site data and browsing history, you want to make sure that you are clearing that data before you get on for the launch, and then don't get on and just sit there and reload. Sometimes it will work, but if you have ever tried to get on at the 56 mark and it isn't letting you on, that is because it's cached. Or you know how sometimes people will be like, it's not showing up sold out on my phone, but it's sold out and I don't understand why. It's because that previous picture on the website is cached. It's saved on their phone. They need to clear that browsing data out, and then when they reload it, it will come up.
Just so you know,
is-
that doesn't always work.
Okay.
Because for me, even if I cache and clear everything, it still sometimes takes me a while for that queue to show up.
Okay.
So just be aware that sometimes
If you did that and it still doesn't work. Okay.
just keep refreshing.
And when you're
Multiple
on,
devices, guys.
if
Yeah,
you're on if you're on your phone, okay, so see this little bookmark button, like it looks like a little open book. If you click on that, and when you open it up down at the bottom, it says clear. If you click on clear, it'll ask you, at least on an iPhone, I don't know what it does on Android, all time, today and yesterday. I do today and yesterday. And then when you go back, so I was on the workstation, okay? And then when I go back to the workstation and I log on, it's automatically, it's logged me out. So what it's doing is it's clearing that saved data and bringing it back to 0, basically. So just as a side note.
So does it, I have a question. Does it
Yeah.
clear out your saved passwords if you do that?
No, no.
It
It's
just
just
logs
everything.
it out. It
Oh,
just
because
logs
I
it
did
out.
that once and I must have done it wrong because it deleted all saved passwords on everything I had in my Chrome. And I was
It
like,
just logs you out. It shouldn't
Okay.
delete anything saved, because like, so if I were to go and do that right now on like my Chrome, I've got Project Broadcast up, I've got Square, I've got the workstation. So if I was to go and clear my data, it would just, it's like a hard close basically.
okay.
Where sometimes, especially in our generation, why this happens, I think, is a lot of us, we just click X. If you go down and you actually click like Control Q on a Mac, you actually quit the system and not just close it. So it's not teetering out there, basically. So the idea behind it is, with the queue, if you're reloading it, you're not actually bringing it back to the beginning of the queue. So just as a side note, this may not happen. And if that confused you, just don't worry about it. But if you go at the 56 mark, basically, and you try to log in and it's not showing you a queue, it is going to be at that time. So clear your data.
Cookies is what clears your passwords, Vanessa. So clear cache only. That's what's saving your screen.
There you go. Okay. There you go. Oh, yes. And Sarah just said that too. Okay. So yes. So there's 2 options. So one deletes all your passwords. Okay. I've never seen that on mine. So I wonder
Yeah. So don't
what
do that.
that's on. So don't do that, but
All right, guys. Does anyone have any questions before we hop off? Any questions or anything you would like us to clarify for you, go into depth with? Please don't be shy.
yeah, speak up if you have anything.
Yeah, you can literally unmute yourself to ask your question if it's quicker. Just because
I think it's important to say, like, at the end of all of it, like, it should be fun. Like, don't make it a super stressful thing.
Mhm.
Like, be prepared and have a system in place. But at the end of the day, like, these launches are so fun. Like, and they just, like, the adrenaline rush that you get from them, I think, is fun. And like successfully carting all that stuff and having like crazy high PRV on the first, like, it is so worth it and so fun. And it is like hype, like all the hype vibes for Scentsy.
Mhm.
This is
And
like
don't
a
beat yourself
Scentsy.
up. If you don't have a lot of pre-orders or you don't get a lot of pre-orders, don't beat yourself up too. We were just even talking in our leader chat earlier, and yeah, what'd you say?
I have 1 and usually I have like 17. So
Yeah.
it is what it is.
We are experiencing a dip right now, and I don't want, this is tough love and it may be insensitive. I don't think we should use that as an excuse, because I think there's always a way that you can do more to get out of that dip. There's always more customers to prospect. There's always more people, but there's also only so much you. So don't beat yourself up. If you have ran out of time, don't do what I do, where I feel like I'm going to turn into a pumpkin and not be able to tell anybody about the Harvest collection the day after it releases. If something sells out and you haven't gotten out your 50 extra brochures that are sitting right next to me, slap a sticker over top of it and say, whoops, this sold out.
I still send them.
Yeah, or just send them. And when someone reaches out and they go, I really want that fall pumpkin, and you say, oh, it's sold out, I'm so sorry, but what about this gingham one? And you just go from there. Okay, but don't beat yourself up if you don't have a lot of orders yet either. Just keep working.
And there's still time.
Still a
There
lot of
is
time.
still a lot of time. And my biggest, I don't know if everyone saw it in the comments earlier, but what I said is people need to see something multiple times before they commit. So you need to make sure you're posting more than once in different places. So on your Facebook story, your Instagram story, your general Facebook, because you never know who might see it that's never ordered before. You want to post in your VIP group, but you want to do that more than once, but in different ways. So maybe one of your posts is highlighting Harry Potter stuff. Maybe another post is highlighting a specific warmer or a specific fragrance. But really, guys, I think just exposure is huge. So over these next couple days, make sure you are exposing your existing customers, exposing your Facebook friends, exposing your Instagram followers to our products. I think that is huge, huge, huge. Make sure you have a way to collect your orders, whatever that is for you. Just make sure you're doing that. But yeah, so my thing is I've been sharing for literally like a solid week, and I'm still randomly getting a Harvest pre-order because they're just now seeing a post, or because they saw something that they didn't see in another post and it's clicking for them, or they really want that Harry Potter stuff. So my advice to you guys is to do that posting in several spots. Also, very intentional follow-up. So anyone that's likes fall stuff, anyone that likes pumpkins, anyone that likes Harry Potter, anyone that has a diffuser, tell them about our oils. Anyone that's ordered fragrance flowers before, tell them about the new fragrance flower scents. Be very intentional. That one-on-one communication will definitely do it for you guys. And it's too late if you don't already have a system in place yet. But get a system in place so that moving forward, you know what your customers are interested in. So I have a jot form that I send to every brand new customer to get to know them. What are you interested in? What licenses would you want to buy in the future? Are you interested in Harvest collection? Would you want to be notified about that? Would you want to be notified about holiday collection? Because I put that work in up front when I gain new customers or with existing customers, it's easier for me to pull that information up and then say, okay, I need to follow up with everyone that checked Harry Potter. I need to follow up with everyone that said they want to be informed about Harvest collection. So just keep that in mind as you guys go through this. Nicole just shared her Google Doc. But keep that in mind because we still have holiday collection coming and lots more LTOs. So that's just my advice for the next couple of days, and then what to do moving forward beyond that.
Yes. And yeah, like Vanessa said, I just put for anybody who prefers Google Docs, like Vanessa said earlier, she's Jotform. I've been using Google Docs since college. So I can't stop using Google now because that's just how my brain works. So that's mine is in there for anybody who wants to use it. You just open it and then the copy will be in there and you just need to personalize it to yourself. And other than that, I think that's it.
I just asked before everyone hops off, remember too that the clearance section also has some fall goodies in there. So if something sells out, that's an option. Also, some of, as our warmers get more detailed, some of them are a little pricier. So if you have anyone bulk at the price, be sure to share all the clearance things with them too, as a backup,
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
I just put a bunch of under wraps mini warmers in a mystery bag.
How the heck is that thing still, or is it under wraps? No, the spell book.
Oh, the spell breeder.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
That was the second time it came around.
Hocus Pocus. I can't believe it.
I know. I'm like, I know. See, but then I bet you it'll start to, it'll go probably.
As the temperature drops,
Mhm.
yeah, the
Need
impulse
it to
goes
hurry
up.
up and drop. I'm
Yep.
tired of the heat.
I know, I agree. Well, you guys, I hope this was beneficial for you all. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. If you guys have any questions, ask your leaders, ask the community. Good luck to all of you. I know some people did post some things in the chat. So if you haven't taken a look at that, I will leave this Zoom up. Feel free to hop off, but I will leave this up for the next few minutes. If you want to look through the chat, there's also going to be a recording of this that I will share with all the leaders, and then they can get it out to their team. But may the odds be ever in your favor, and happy fall, y'all. It's here.
Happy fall, y'all. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye, friends.
Bye.